YouTube, Robert the Monster Among Marks Drap here, and I'm back again with my good friend and tag team partner Sierra. How we doing tonight?
I am amazing!
It would be even more amazing if you could actually fucking see me, but I decided to keep my webcam covered there for the intro because I'm that professional. Yay me. Oh, my merciful me. I gotta say, if we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, I have to absolutely start off with the fact that this one wasn't bad, but wasn't great. Could have been a hell of a lot better if they would have actually just, I don't know, let the fucking storyline play it out. Thank you for going onto the stream there and keeping an eye on it for us. Hopefully, here very shortly. Wow, I gotta fix up my notes here a bit, but no, I absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've got my notes off the side here. Hopefully, we can keep everything rolling without too much of an issue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that the entirety of your wonderful screen can be seen along with mine. But no, yeah, I mean, this could have been so much better if they would have let the main event play out. Having just Finn versus Roman would have been fine. And in this, and like I said to you online, and I'll say it again here, having Roman and Finn be slightly interrupted by Braun Strowman, that would have given me a bone to pick. Been like, yeah, no, I'm going to get another match because this guy decided to come down and distract the both of us. So, and I think Roman would have gave it to him. But in this starting with Roman, I fucking hate the way that he carries a title. The way he carries the title is disrespectful. It looks terrible. It's horrible. I don't like it at all. He carries it like a backpack. But he gets a ton of boos and "you suck" chants amid the applause. He says he's going to defend tonight against Finn Balor. Finn comes out and accepts, adding he's going to take back his title tonight. Good back and forth to start with. I really have to say that this gave Roman a chance to just be, direct, and that works very well for his character. And to have Finn come out and just go, yeah, no, I'm right. And he even Roman even acknowledged that Finn should be first because he never got a chance to get his rematch ever in this 5 years.
So now that you say that, Finn was the first one to, because Finn's always been saying, I never lost the title. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens never got his rematch. So next week, do we see Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens?
I actually think so, but this is going to get a little more interesting here in a second. Corbin comes down and says that Finn isn't going to be rewarded for his stunt of facing the Demon last night, that he's going to face Corbin again. Fucking Roman just roasts Corbin standing there. It's like, that's great. Do that, please. Angle comes down, reminds everybody, hey, no, you don't make the matches. I make the matches. I'm saying it's going to be Reigns and Balor for the main event, and Lashley versus Baron Corbin is starting right now. I love this. Let it be a thing. Let it continuously be a thing. And I hate where we're going with that line later, but Lashley wins. There was no way Baron Corbin was winning because he just, I mean,
if you're gonna destroy my favorite wrestler, at least give me a payoff. Granted, I actually might have gotten a payoff by the end of this show.
You absolutely fucking did, and I gotta be honest. This is a almost slap in the face to the rest of the WWE universe. And fuck it, let's do it. Because later on in the evening, we get Ronda Rousey. We get Stephanie McMahon, who's been in the building and has done her thing with Ronda Rousey that we will cover here in a little while. But Baron Corbin is back there with Alexa Bliss. They're all kind of talking and having their back and forth. And Stephanie berates Angle for not doing anything, and Angle's like, "What the fuck was I gonna do?" And then we get I'm sorry, no, that was Corbin berating Angle. Then Stephanie steps in and says, "No, yeah, he's kind of right. I can see you're doing everything you can, but you're looking very, very stressed, and then you may need a vacation. Not a permanent vacation, but a vacation. So starting right now, you're acting, starting from here on out, you're acting general manager, Baron Corbin." Let's be absolutely frank. The authority storyline has never worked, has never done good things for the wrestlers on the brand of Raw. It never gotten over. It has never done what it set out to do, and continuously doing it is just like pushing Reigns the way that they had been previously. The reason we like Reigns now is because he's developed a character. He has actually gotten better on the mic in a positive direction. Not great, but he's getting better and better and better, and that's what he needs to do. And
number three.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got legit competition. That's the other thing.
I wasn't going there. Number 3, he's the one who took the title off of Lesnar. Nobody wanted Lesnar to have the title anymore. And number 4, the Shield's a thing again.
I don't think they needed it.
They didn't need it, but I love that idea where it's just like these guys can go off and do their own thing, but they still have each other's backs. And I'm a huge Shield fan. If you couldn't tell with the jacket, the shirt.
No, I'm well aware that the Shield did whatever they wanted to do, and nobody could stop them in the confines of the Authority. Because what were you going to do? You had champions that were so good that you couldn't stop them from continuing to be on the storyline. So, but then again, having him come out against Braun Strowman, I always kind of thought that the Shield would come back as, the face group that they were always kind of more leaning towards, rather than we're just here anarchic in all sense of anarchy and here to rip shit riot, because that's not who Seth Rollins is. That's not who Dean Ambrose is. That's not who Roman Reigns is as the characters individually. So having them do this is actually a contrivance and goes completely against what they were building with the characters in and of themselves. And in fact, I can't believe Roman didn't turn around and tell him to step the fuck off. You want to build Roman as a badass? There's your chance. You have him tell his Shield brethren who've come out and stood up and stood with him and say, "No, you've got to step aside. You've got to let me do this because I said I would. I said I knew this was coming. I said I had it. And you're going to stand up and say no?"
So, but to counter that, Braun did come up and say, "I'm going to challenge whoever wins after this match."
Mm-hmm.
Roman just got the title. He probably wants to keep it for a while. So he probably did go to his Shield brothers and be like, "Look, I'm going to win this match against Balor, but I'm not going to be 100% to face Strowman. That's where I need you guys to come in and stop this. That way he can't officially cash in because the bell never rang for that issue. So he still technically is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder." I think that Roman probably went to his brothers and said, "Hey, I'm going to beat Balor tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to beat Strowman as soon as I'm done with this match." Well, that's probably the reason why the Shield boys came down.
Well, the whole thing of that is, in my head, is when you have that kind of a storyline that you want to go on ahead and do it, you have to show something. You have to show that maybe he's thinking about that in the back of his mind, he knows Strowman is coming. If he would have said at the beginning when he was calling Finn out that, "Yes, I know you're coming, Strowman, bring it. I'm prepared," then yeah. But the backstage interview that they had a little later just said that he was ready. For me, it didn't work.
I personally don't think that we needed to get that in-depth as to why the Shield came out. We can just assume that Shield's got Shield's back. But moving back into the Lashley v. Corbin, this was too much too soon. Corbin has always been, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I am a huge Corbin fan if y'all have seen my Twitter.
Yep.
But again, Corbin has a very slow pace when it comes to the match, and he slowed the pace down so much that we really didn't have a chance to really enjoy it because it felt like a slugfest. It was 7 minutes, and it felt like an hour.
Kitten.
Kitten!
So,
but no, I mean, the crowd was already done before the finish of this match, and this was the opening match.
Yeah, no,
Why
this
would we
is
follow up SummerSlam with an overly long Baron Corbin Bobby Lashley match? More importantly, why are they really even fighting each other? With the exception that Kurt Angle ordered it.
Yeah, I mean that didn't need to be a thing. Next we have the 6-woman tag: Banks, Bayley, Ember Moon versus Riot Squad. Honestly, I don't like the Boss and a Hug connection even being a title as far as their name goes, and having them continue to put together these matches with the we lost OBS. I think it was the cat, because the cat just stretched on my. Okay,
yeah, we just lost connection on the stream.
We got it back. Okay, so I'm gonna hold you, so you can't do that anymore. Anyway, so we get Boss and Hug connection, which again I'm not big on, and then we have the Riot Squad. Ruby Riot,
which I am huge on.
Yeah, Ruby Riot wins this for the Riot Squad with a Riot kick on Banks. I'm sorry. These women need to start, if they're going to have a Evolution pay-per-view where they want to put on women's wrestling, let there be more storyline of who's facing Rousey next. Who's next in line? Let's start building and showing the talents of these individual women as individuals, and then have them work their way through the rest of the roster to the ultimate point of facing Ronda Rousey.
Well, so we do have one pay-per-view in between. Well, technically two because of the Super Show.
I'm not counting that one. They're not everybody's going to be there. And we'll get to that.
But we do have a pay-per-view in between now and Evolution. I think because at Evolution, you've got to imagine that Ronda's going to be facing a legend. Probably someone that's held that belt before. I've heard rumblings.
Yeah,
but
I think the only person that they may put her in there with is Stephanie. And personally, it would actually,
they might be building up to.
Well, I mean, with the segment that they get in a little later, it's very, very obvious that they want to build for Stephanie versus Ronda 2. And this one actually be a one-on-one match. And here's the thing. I think that Stephanie should absolutely get beaten like a dirty rug on this one. Because Stephanie McMahon has never had a comeuppance. In the sense that she in herself has always been this snobby kind of character, and always wanted to kind of smarmily say, no, I'm all about the women. No, you're all about the women that prop you up.
She got her comeuppance at some point, though. You have to remember, she was technically drugged when she married Triple H, and she was almost sacrificed by The Undertaker.
Okay, two things. One, that we don't talk about those times because a lot of the shit that they produced back then was very offensive. I'm talking just like the worst.
Yeah.
And so we ignore that. And I'm pretty much saying from 03 on, Stephanie has been this character, has been this person, and hasn't had anybody come up and smack the taste out of her mouth and make her go, listen up, you can't keep being this person. But we keep getting it, and we keep seeing little flashes and little hints here and there, like when Seth caused trips to hit her and put her through the table at WrestleMania. This year's WrestleMania, there were moments where you knew that there should be some remorse, some shifting of gears of, okay, I am this person, and I'm sorry that I was such a bitch. But nobody's done it.
So we do have someone in the chat, Chase Ryder. We were just talking about Ronda Rousey. He says that Ronda doesn't deserve it. I'm assuming deserve the title. I have to agree and disagree on that point because, yes, Ronda came in as the glorified new talent, the overhyped rookie, to quote Alexa Bliss. But within the time that she has been in the WWE, yes, there have been some botches and some fails, but she has improved. Her mic skills aren't terrible. She has the ability in the ring. I think it's just the transitioning that she's still worried with, because if you look at Shayna Baszler, Baszler has grown leaps and bounds since joining NXT.
Oh yeah, and I don't think it's so far to say that they lampshaded it fairly nicely. And thank you for watching, Chase. And we appreciate your participation. They lampshaded it by calling she herself saying, "I am not Brock Lesnar." She knows that she started in UFC and is coming to WWE, not the other way around, and it absolutely takes a stance of humility in her ring presence, and she's very much still working on molding herself into a WWE wrestler. That being said, I think she absolutely deserves it, because how the hell are you going to have Ronda Rousey, who calls herself, and rightfully is, the baddest woman on the planet, and not put her in a title contention? Now, this is going to do two things for Ronda Rousey. Number one, this is going to give her the attention as a wrestler, not as a UFC fighter, that she deserves, which kind of up until this point has been a problem for her, that everybody's like, UFC first, WWE. She's actually just thrown her lot in with being WWE. And second, this is going to help her grow in promo, ring ability, and in-ring technicals, because she's going to have to step up to being that fighting champion that she claims she is. And that's fine. Let's do that. I want to see more of it. And in hell, having an open challenge for the women would be amazing. So I hope to see that in the future. Speaking of things I hope to see in the future, Triple H cuts a promo where and I gotta say this, I love Triple H's promos. Triple H's promos are always wonderful to hear, if only because sometimes he forgets shit, and he's a lot like me, where I'll talk about a thing, and I'll get very on the thing, and anything attached to it comes in, because that works for me. But he starts talking about how Vince called him up to sell him on Super Showdown, says he's gonna that they booked the venue. He's like, and I want you there. Trips is like, hell yeah. I want you to face The Undertaker. Hell no. Why? Well, because I did this match at WrestleMania in 2012, the Hell in the Cell with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. They stood at the top of the ramp together. It was the end of the era, and the whole emotion of his promo kind of shifted, because he starts talking about how this is the realest it gets in this business, and I love that, because that's raw emotion for Paul. I gotta say, Paul is not Triple H anymore right there. That is the businessman standing before you telling you, yeah, I was a professional wrestler, and this was real. This was a real moment. And he starts talking about how Shawn got retired after that. He hung up his tights soon, not following that. And then The Undertaker took the hat off, the gloves off, and folded it all up and seemed to disappear. But he wants him to come back for one more match, and the only way he's going to do it is if the Phenom shows up. And I got to say, again, love it. This was no exception, and I kind of want to see this match.
So I love that you loved this promo. Personally, I didn't. This was, in my opinion, completely unnecessary. We really didn't need any more hype for this match. It's Triple H versus Undertaker, two legends. And while Triple H is a great mic person, he does have a tendency to talk forever.
Yeah.
And he never really, I feel like, in my opinion, he never really reached a point in this. He just rambled about a match that, no offense, it doesn't really matter, because it's going to be a one and done. This is the last thing. And it's not happening until October. Yeah,
I mean, you're not entirely wrong with the thought of This is a match that could have that didn't really need a lot of hype to get us involved, but having any hype at all, having a story for it makes it better in my head. But
this is a glorified filler for a glorified house show.
You are not wrong, and I want to see the. I wonder if Trips is going to bring the Mighty down. I want to see him at the Super Showdown. That would be amazing.
But I think we should probably move on.
Yep. Moving on, we get the replay of the Universal Championship win by Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Then we get Seth coming out in Dean's shirt, and then Ambrose comes out so he can face Dolph Ziggler. Again, this was a lot of physicality in this match by Dean, showing off his strength and his more aggressive style since he's come back, and I really loved it.
Changed his repertoire.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. And I am so excited.
I loved the moment when Dolph Ziggler went for a crossbody and he fucking caught him, stood there for a second, turned around, went, nope, fall away slam. It was great. And
so you have to remember, this was Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose the night after SummerSlam.
Right.
Was it 2 SummerSlams ago? Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Heavyweight Championship?
Something like that.
That was not a good match. This was back when Dean wasn't doing anything in his title run, and Ziggler was just the first person they could give him because it was immediately after brand split. And then to see 2 years later that these guys literally, in my opinion, stole the match. I give this match an A.
Yeah, this was extraordinary, especially when I think Ziggler was jumping for a DDT and fucking Dean caught him on the shoulder, popped him up, let him fall, and hit the dirty deeds. It was great.
Oh yeah.
That I call that I'm gonna call that the pop-up dirty deeds. It works. Next we get Braun. We get Balor backstage taping up, and Braun comes back there basically to say, I'm the monster among men. I'm not going to do this to your face. Good luck tonight. And he holds up the briefcase. And I'm like, all right, fine, perfect. Next we get Elias coming down to sing, but he's interrupted by my boy, Kurt Hawkins. Yeah! I love that we got him back. I really do. This was a great match for him. I mean, for Kurt Hawkins. This was very, very good in the scheme of the night. And I loved the match. There was a good bit of offense by Hawkins, but in the end, I was thinking this streak would end, therefore giving Elias something to do with Kurt Hawkins and maybe building Hawkins up a bit. But no, we don't get that. We actually get Elias hitting the drift away on Hawkins for the 1-2-3.
WWE has offered Hawkins quite a few times to end his losing streak, and he keeps saying no. I like that they did this with Hawkins. He is one of the hometown people. He's from the city. I
think he's from. They mentioned he's from Queens.
Yes, which is just right across the bridge. But
I don't know.
I'm assuming there's like 8 bridges. But I don't want to say this feels like a push for Hawkins, but this was a good match. This wasn't a squash match. Hawkins got quite a bit of offense in.
Yeah.
I would like to see WWE build this, but continue his losing streak.
I think that what needs to happen, and this is me in my head, they need to give him a continuous keep coming back for more against Elias. And every time he gets just that little bit closer, and he challenges him next week, he challenges him week after that, challenges him at Hell in a Cell. And it comes to a point like WrestleMania where we get one of the big ones, one of the big 5. And he finally challenges him and like, listen, this is it. I'm going to fight you. You're not going to beat me. And Elias loses. It would be great for Kurt Hawkins to finally get that off his mark. And yeah, I know you said he's been approached several times by people to hopefully break the streak, and no. But I think this has to be on a big stage that he's got to do it. And they got to let him do it.
Yeah, if they're going to break the streak, it's not going to be on a house show or an episode of Main Event. It's going to be on national TV or a pre-show pay-per-view, because if he's continuing to lose, he's not going to make it on the main card for a pay-per-view.
Yeah. We get a little backstage segment with the Titus Worldwide, and
what the frick is going on with Apollo and Dana? Apollo, you have a child. Dana,
that's not
your
kayfabe.
Boyfriend a couple months ago.
No,
also, if this is a ploy to break up Titus Worldwide, I am not for it unless Dana Brooke gets to wrestle again.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. She did surround the ring with the rest of the women's.
Ladies.
It was great, and she even got mentioned by Stephanie in the promo that she cut. AOP wins with the last chapter. There was no doubt about this. I'm really tired of this rivalry. It needs to fucking stop, and we need to get an actual.
It's not even a rivalry.
Okay, we need to stop this series of squash matches for AOP and put them against the champs, and let that be the end of it.
I mean,
again,
this was a basic match, a filler match, but I mean, it did show off how good Cruz can be with his final sequence.
Oh yeah,
but all four of them, especially Akam and Rezar, deserve so much better than this.
Exactly. Next, we get the women around the ring. Stephanie McMahon comes out for Ronda's coronation, and she also hypes Evolution. We basically get the replay. Stephanie makes a point to turn everything about Ronda around and make it about her. I fucking hate that. I hate Stephanie's character. I can't stand it. It's not good.
I think that
needs to be done.
I think that's on purpose. I think that's what she's going for.
Yeah.
I guess that's what she's going for, then she's got it spot on, because if you have to remember, when we had the brand split, Stephanie did this weird thing where she was a tweener and she didn't know if she was going to be a heel commissioner or a face commissioner. And then to have her settle back into that heel personality that she's always had, I think was a better choice than having her turn around and become a babyface.
Well,
because you really can't be a babyface when you're in that position.
You can. It in the same way that they have the heel authority making life hard for the baby faces who are champions, the same can be said for doing the same to babyface authorities who make it life difficult for heel champions or heel challengers who want to cheat. And I'm okay with that. They just have to do it. And I, like I said, I don't really like Steph's character. I never have. I'm not a big fan of it. Don't ever think I will be, and that's fine. Moving on. Ronda actually comes out interrupting Stephanie and points out this is not about Stephanie. It's not even about her. It's about all of the women here. Steph is shocked when Ronda invites them all into the ring, and she's like, Ronda, this isn't attitude becoming of a champion. And Rousey just looks at her, you want to tell me about how to be a champion? It's like, fucking yes. Go for it. Go for the throat. You're not going to do anything. And it's not long before we have Steph in an armbar. That's great. Again, the show's...
Can I point out that it's kind of odd that the Bella Twins were in this? Yeah. I mean, they showed up for SummerSlam, which, fine and dandy, but they made it all about Rondo. And I understand this is all leading up to Evolution, but it just doesn't make sense for the Bella Twins to be returning to the ring, or returning to Raw or SmackDown. Brie, go to SmackDown, go to your hubby. And then for Brie to, like, completely ignore Daniel Bryan except to console him. I think it's odd that the Bella Twins are involved right now.
I think it's just because the women's division on SmackDown is strong enough that they don't really want to put Brie over on SmackDown and overshadow everybody else or kind of push everybody to the sides. But next we have the recap of the start of the show before Bo Dallas faces Scott Dawson. Dawson just flops Dallas. Then it's immediately turned around to Curtis Axel challenging Dash Wilder. This yields
How do you challenge someone when you're already scheduled to a match?
I know. It's like, it didn't make sense to me, but I didn't want to question it. And especially the way he was I think Graves pointed it out. How are you going to smack talk when when your buddy lost.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It's
Again,
another case of the right time, right place, right time booking, and the B team didn't have it this time because it wasn't a tag match.
right, and they even point that out. They're like, you may have beat us individually, but they're still tag champs. And I think Scott Dawson said, "Yeah, sure," like in your head. I'm like, no, that's an actual fact. They are legitimately the tag team champions. You didn't actually win. I know you could have, had the ref not been distracted, you would have got that roll-up victory and that'd have been it. But you didn't win. That's the point. Next, we have the backstage interview with Roman Reigns. Then the authority angle with Steph, Bliss, and Corbin against Angle, who gets put on temporary vacation. Then we have Balor versus Reigns. This is all about Roman's power versus Balor's speed.
This was good.
Oh yeah, this was a very good match. Braun Strowman comes down towards the end, distracts Reigns. Finn hits him with a sling blade, the hesitation drop kick, sets up for the coup de grace, and in my head, this is the explanation why he didn't actually win. There was a moment where he's ascending the top rope. He looks down over at Braun. That hesitation. That one moment of, I got to keep an eye on the monster. Before before going for the coup de grace. That gave Roman the opportunity he needed to dodge out the way, hit the spear, and get the 1-2-3. Braun is announced as cashing in after kicking Roman in the knee. He didn't even kick him in the chest, just like, no, I'm going to kick you in the knee. And then he falls backwards. I'm okay with that. The Shield comes out. They all tussle. Braun is put through a announce table. No cash in. Again, this was not a terrible match, not a terrible end to the show. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Could have been far worse, but I think it could have been better.
Honestly, I think this was an excellent main event for the Raw TV show. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was shocking. Mm-hmm. It was fascinating. Right. Balor and Reigns are always good together, even though the commercials really blocked and broke up the flow of the match.
That's why I liked watching it online. I just did 1.5 times through and just boom.
I mean, and yeah, we've already talked about it, but the Shield reforming was kind of a shock, but only because it was out of left field. Yeah. I mean, nobody was expecting it. We've already talked about how they came out as heels here, but they're still being treated as faces.
Right.
And I mean, these guys will be unstoppable unless Strowman or whoever Roman's next competitor is can find some allies.
Well, and I know that kind of points the finger of asking who's going to challenge Roman next, and I really have to say that you're not far off. I think with it being KO, maybe Dolph, put these guys through the ringer, kind of give a bevy until you find somebody or have somebody in mind for who's going to challenge Roman at Hell in a Cell, who's going to challenge Roman after that. Because I want a long-term program with Roman and somebody who's worth it. And I get the feeling it might be Corbin, just because of the way that they're setting up the authority angle, and I don't like it.
Sorry, that giggle was a little weird. I'm not a fangirl, I swear.
Yeah,
but
right, not a fangirl.
You have to think of a heel that could potentially get along with Ziggler and McIntyre if Rollins and Ambrose are still doing the thing with them. Because if I don't see Drew versus Dean, I'm going to riot. If I don't see them tag against each other, I'm going to riot. So you have to think, what other heel could fit with them and isn't in that complacent category that Dolph and Drew are talking about? I think you're absolutely, just because I love Baron Corbin, I think Baron Corbin's a good option. KO's a good option.
You can't do Jinder. Jinder doesn't have it right now. There's nobody, no way on that one. Elias isn't ready yet. I would like to see Elias, but I don't think he's ready yet.
Elias needs the IC championship first. I would love to see Finn as the Universal again soon, but I have a feeling that he might be lining up for that IC title.
Yeah, I think they.
Where are Gallows and Anderson?
I think they absolutely. I think they put this one down on the. We know where Gallows and Anderson are. They're on SmackDown.
Under the ring.
No, they're on SmackDown. They're on SmackDown.
But they're under the ring.
Fucking buried.
They tweeted that they were under the ring during SummerSlam, and then apparently Gallows is dating Nia Jax, but I don't actually believe that. I think that might have been like a joke.
Yeah, probably. I don't doubt it.
Where's Nia?
Nia decided she wanted to take some time off again. I'm okay with that. Not super okay, but I'm okay with it. In the end, we all have to look at the final thoughts here. Having this match, kind of go the direction that it did, kind of shut up all the marks, because I think they were tired of hearing about it, and especially because they knew they were going to be in Brooklyn, they could do it. They could get away with it. So now they've shut up that question of, hey, Finn should be next because he didn't ever lose it. He had to give it up. Well, now you've been shut up. He's got his rematch and he lost. And even Roman himself said it, and I think this was Vince talking to the crowd. If Finn loses, which he did, he's at the back of the line. So
yeah, but how long is he going to be at the back of the line? Let's be honest. He's going to demolish half the competition.
Until Vince doesn't have a pulse anymore.
Okay, I think you're being a little over dramatic about that. I think that Finn will have the Universal Championship. He'll definitely have a title match within the year.
I'd love to say I would love to see him.
Number one contender for the Universal Championship by SummerSlam next year.
I would love to see him and Roman go back and forth for a while. That would be great because it would give Roman somebody solid to go against. But
okay, but there are so many people. I mean, we get the Money in the Bank briefcase off of Strowman. He can become a number one contender again. Elias could do something, even just not to even win the championship, but Elias could be a good number one contender.
Oh yeah, no, I don't argue that.
Bobby Lashley, they had a nice match.
Bobby Roode,
obviously.
I think that what they're actually gearing up for here in the very near future is exactly what Roman was kind of indicating in the beginning, which is an open challenge for the Universal Championship, which will do wonders for Roman's character and for the title because it'll be on Raw every night. But that being said, it's going to
build prestige for the title, but I don't know. I think so. I know a lot of people wanted to see the IC Open Challenge come back, but you have to think Seth lost his title during an IC championship open match. I would think he might be a little bit more cautious to do an open match, especially now that the Universal Champion is always on Raw. He was doing it because nobody saw the Universal Championship. His IC title was the championship. Yeah. So now that Roman has the title and it's going to be defended every week, Seth can lay back on that as the IC champion. Or we can just give Dean a title and make it all three of them a title.
I mean, I completely agree that's exactly what needs to happen, but we will see in the coming weeks. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share all those wonderful things down below. Join the mosh pit by hitting the bell for the notifications. We do this every day. After we go back, we cover the show that was before. Tomorrow we will be covering SmackDown. Next day we're going to be
ready.
Yeah, we're going to be covering SmackDown. Then next we're going to be showing up for NXT/205 Live, and then on Friday we're going to have ourselves a little wrestling news and rumors.